We now come to a Bible story my Sunday school teacher never told me, and I didn't tell the Sunday school class that I told, and I even didn't tell my youth group when I was a youth leader. It's one of those stories, but it's in the scriptures and it's there for a reason. And so we're going to look at the story of Judah and Tamar. And so Judah, having sold his brother Joseph into Egypt, the story of Judah is more like Judas, really, isn't it, to start with, because he sold his brother Joseph, his father's favourite, for 20 pieces of silver. Our Lord was sold for 30 pieces of silver. And this was to be the man who would start the tribe of Judah, in which would bring our Lord Jesus Christ. And it doesn't look like a very good start. So let's have a look then at Genesis chapter 38 and verses 1. And it says, "Now at that time," what time? Well, the time when he had sold his brother, as I said earlier, his father's, Jacob's favourite. He'd sold him, and he was very active in that, as we saw in our last Bible study video. And so then he decides then that he leaves his brothers, and he went to stay with a certain Adullamite named Harah. There Judah saw the daughter of Shua, a Canaanite, and took her as his wife and lived with her, and she conceived and gave birth to a son, and Judah named him So here we have, now, just like Esau, his uncle, he goes to the Canaanites, and unlike his dad and his granddad, where they went to a different place, not from the Canaanites, but he did. So that's how he started. Then she conceived again and gave birth to a son, and his name was Onan. Again she conceived and gave birth to another son, and his name was Shelah. It was at Chezib that she gave birth to him. Now Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord killed him in judgment. Well, that's straight to the point, isn't it? And, some seem to commit evil and they seem to go on forever. But here, God is dealing with this man, Judah, very severely. And so having gone into error, we believe, because this wasn't what he should have done. It certainly wasn't following traditions, again, of his father and grandfather. Then Judah told Onan, "Go to your brother's widow and perform your duty as a brother-in-law under the Levirate marriage custom, to be her husband and raise children for the name of your brother." Now, what's this Levirate marriage in the Bible? Well, in Deuteronomy chapter 25, verses 5 to 10, we see that there was a law regarding a man to marry his deceased childless brother's widow to continue the family line. That's how important it was, this family line, and name the inheritance with the firstborn son carrying the deceased name. Refusal led to shaming, and the practice ensured the lineage continually and kept the property within the tribe. So it's very important that Onan did this. He did what his dad told him to do, and that he would marry Tamar and produce an heir. And even knowing that this heir would not basically be his, it would carry the name of his dead brother. So Onan knew that the child heir would not be his, but his dead brother's. So whenever he lay with his brother's widow, he spilled his seed on the ground to prevent conception, so that he would not give a child to his brother. But what he did was displeasing in the sight of the Lord. Therefore he, that's God, killed him also in judgment. My word, the Bible is certainly straight, isn't it? I mean, I'm doing my life story at the moment, and as I said in the previous channel video on my other channel, and some things, you can't put you can't tell everything. But here, the Bible is very, very clear, and it's very, very straight, and that's how God deals with us. I'm not saying he's going to kill us. Thank God we live in a different covenant and a time, but he's still a judging God, as we find out. And so Judah said to Tamar, that's after the death of and the death of Onam, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in your father's house until Shelah, my youngest son, is grown. But he was deceiving her, for he thought that if Shelah should marry her, he too might die like his brothers did. Now, in modern day terms, we would call her a black widow, somebody who's had several husbands who had died mysteriously in the judgment of God. So here we have this situation. When we don't always know we're doing it, but we walk away from God, sometimes stuff happens. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be killed like this, but it's not the right way to go. And we're called to walk with him and to walk with the Lord in his grace and his love and his mercy, and to honour him in all what we do. And even though this is an extreme, even in our lives, we can find that things don't go well. So we'll see what happens next.